Oh, you turn on history.
Yeah.
So you just go in history, on pictures, and then you just click oh no, you're selecting history. So just press escape, and then press control 7. And then you can extrude from there. Yeah, and then press extrude.
Wow. Boy, I was in all might be half asleep by now. Slow.
I think you have an extra circle. I think this one, yeah, I think this one's extra. No, it's the middle one, so press control.
This one?
That one's there.
I think they got a lot of features on here that we don't need. I'm just looking at everything it's trying to load up. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here that we don't need. That's why these things are taking so long to come up. We don't teach CAM in this class, so we don't need that. And we don't do PDM, we don't need that.
Adobe. Adobe can fix it.
Wow. Okay, let's try this again. Is that working now? Yeah. Ever since they loaded this Windows 10 on here, these things are really slowed down. We didn't have this problem last semester when we had, what was that, 7? Windows 7, it was working really good. All right, this is the drawing that we want to create right here. So that's the drawing we want to create. So if you have your hand up, go ahead and take a look at that picture. I'm going to close this, open up the model, and show you how to get to this drawing, how to create this drawing, how to adjust the hidden lines, revision block, do the balloons, how to do the
Sorry.
color block, how to do the bill of materials. I'm going to go through this one here.
It's
So
recording
up
there.
that drawing, you can use that. Don't save.
Do you mind? Okay.
Yeah, let's go. It's all fine. I just hope you're able to actually be able to.
That should be fine.
Okay, this is going to be assignment 2, exercise 1. So here's my model. I'm going to open the model. And it's advised that you have the model that you want to bring into the drawing, just have that model open. If you have too many models open down here, then you're going to have to go through the browse procedure. So it's easier if you just have the model open and then have the model orientated the same way the primary view is on the drawing. The primary view is the drawing to the left and down. Okay? So this is my primary view. Okay? First thing you want to do is make sure you assign material. Material is basically right here. You can see when I'm selecting my part, you right click. You're going to look for this right here, material, edit material. Okay, you're going to get the material dialog box. It's important that you assign material because they actually, if you're doing satellites and aircraft, they can actually go in and calculate the weight based on the material. And this tells you if the plane or the satellite is too heavy, this one here is going to be, cast alloy steel, so down here, there's cast alloy steel, double click it. That assigns it, you can set all parameters, change to match that material right here. Apply and close, okay? Alright, now you wanna do step 2. So you're gonna go here to Configuration Manager, this icon right here is called Configuration Manager. Click on that icon, put your mouse right here and at your part ID, right click, go to Properties, and you want to make sure that this box right here is checked on, used in the bill of materials. So check that on, and then right here you have to actually type cast alloy steel. You do it in cast. Okay. So you would type in cast alloy steel right there. And then you check mark it to accept it. Check to see if your name's on here for last week too. And then you just save it, okay? So you got your model complete, you got your materials complete, okay? So file save. Alright, save, alright. Then go to File, New. Simple, yeah, we are. Okay, here's your drawing ID right there. So double click your drawing. You get this dialog box, we're using the A2 ISO format for everything. Whether we do inches or metric, we're going to use the A2. If you download the software, you're going to find you have more selections in here. So you're going to use that A2 right there. There's your format. With the model open or in session, as they refer to it, you actually see the model actually comes up right here in the browser. So it's automatically there. And because it's there, it saves you from going into that browser and having to hunt for it on the computer or your file. So if you have it open, it's going to show up right there. So double click it with the left mouse button. Bring your mouse over here and you're going to see a rectangle. You don't see your model. So what you want to do is come over here. You're going to scroll down here a little bit. You can see the word preview right there. Okay? So you don't see anything, but if you click the word preview, then you can see your whole model. If you're not getting the proper view orientation, here's the manipulators for the view. You can go here and say, hey, top, back, front, side right there. So you can actually start changing the orientation if you don't get what you want here. Click to place the first view with the left mouse button, move the mouse up, click again, move the mouse to the right, click again, move the mouse up here for the ISO. Don't try to control the position, it's just going to go in alignment with this view. Click it, okay? And then check mark everything, right? Now, once you create the view, you can see the isometric will move independently, right? If you don't see any hidden lines in here, all you do is select the primary view, and it's these icons right here. This one here shades it, see right there? This is shaded with lines. This is hidden lines removed, and this one here is with hidden lines. So it's right there, these little icons, okay? To adjust the view size, if you select the primary right there, you're going to get this dialog box again. Okay? So if I select primary, dialog box in the back, I'm going to expand this a little bit. Come in here where it says Use Custom Scale. Click on Use Custom Scale. You can try these defaults in here. They have default sizes. So I go in here and I click it's 1 to 1. It makes it smaller. If I go 1 divided by 2, it keeps getting smaller. So these are your default sizes here. 2 to 1, like so. Okay. So you can actually pick defaults. If you get it to the size to the right size, that's good. If you don't, then you would just stay in here, scroll up, user define. Now you can set your own values. The number 2 over here to the left is the actual size of the model. It's 2 times. It's being divided by 1. So if I want that to be smaller, I can change that 1 to, let's say, a 3, so I can divide 2 by 3. You can see I can actually make it smaller. Okay? Like that. So if I put 1 back there, I think it's 2 being divided by 1. If I type in 1.5, okay, then you make it a little smaller. So the first number on the left is the number 2 size of the model being divided by this value. And there's a colon that separates that right there. Okay? So I'm going to put 2.25. 1.25, I can control that. All right, I'm going to check mark that. This view here should be half the size of this. So just click on this, 2 divided by 1.25. So I go in here and highlight it and I say, hey, you know what, if I put maybe 0.75, that's roughly about half of that. You can see that. I can actually shrink that view down. Oops, I can shrink it down. Actually, I need a bigger number than mine. Let me try 3. That should shrink it down. Okay? So this view here should be roughly about half the size of that. Okay? All right. There's my hidden lines showing up right there. Okay? This view on your drawing, remember, you're going to take this title block in your mind, draw a line across, a line straight up, confine your view to 80% of the space. You don't want to have these views sitting over here, and you don't want to be doing this like that. You don't want to be doing that. Okay? Stay away from this area. Because you got a bill of materials going to be shooting up in here when we do assembly. This guy's going to sit here, move it up about there, just like that. Occupy 80% of the space. And then just throw your dimensions in here. Anybody having problems dimensioning these? This is, you dimension this the same way you would in Sketch. Just go to Sketch, and there's your smart dimension, use your smart dimension. And just start touching it there. And you'll get your values. I'm going to explain how to make this stuff bigger tonight. Okay? So you're just going to start applying the dimensions. Now, if you have a text that you have to add, let's see, this one here you have a text. So I'm going to select this and move over here. So this 10 should say 2x, all right? So I'm going to place the value. And notice that the little white box comes up right there. Can you see it when I put the mouse next to it? Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can do it. Let's turn this off. Click it. See the little white box coming up? Come on. Stay there for a while. Kind of hard to see. But see that little white box right there?
Yeah.
You click on that box, or just put your mouse in there. If you put your mouse right here, the value will be in front. The information will be in front. If you put it here, it will be after the value. So I'm going to say 2x, so I type 2x. Everything in engineering is caps, so make sure you use 2x caps. Okay? 2 times 10. Okay? And then you can just take it and move it in or out. Like that. You don't want to leave it like that. Well, my text is a little bit smaller. Don't forget about that. Okay? So that's how you're going to get your information there. And then just go ahead and add your values. Same way. Like so. So I'm going to come in here, touch the line, touch the edge, use my value. Okay, I need 2x there. There's the little white box. Put my mouse right there, 2x. And just click on space, place it in. So the dimensions shouldn't be any problem, right? I hope. Okay, let's talk about the hidden lines. Anybody having problems with the dimensions? If you think you're going to have problems, just say so. All right. Okay, let's look at these hidden lines. These hidden lines, if the dashes are too small and too close together, when you print them out, oh, before I forget, we're out of ink on the ink cartridge, so let's see if we got a new ink cartridge, so hang on to your drawings. So if these dash lines are too close together, you have to go in and adjust these. If you bring your mouse down here to the right-hand corner, go into Edit Document, okay. You're going to look for Line Type Style. There's 3 of them, Line Type. Line Font, line style, line thickness, you want line style. You go to line style, you can see a dash line right there, so highlight this dash line. And here's the equation for it right here. It's A, comma, 0.25, comma, negative 0.125. You actually have to have those values in there exactly the way you see them. If you don't, it'll just ignore it or reject it, and you'll have to cancel out and come back and try it again. So you can't make any mistakes in here, okay? So where it says 0.25, I'm going to go and highlight that 0.25 right there. And I'm just going to type in 75. I got the point there, so it's 0.75. So I'm going to try and triple this. And I'm going to go in here, highlight this one, and I'm going to type 0.3, I'm sorry, points over there. I'm going to type 375, okay? Now, if it's good, if I put the equation in there good, when I click OK, it'll accept it. If I didn't do it correctly, it'll just reject it. Okay. Can you see the dashes get bigger? This is the part where you guys are supposed to say, ooh, wow, there you go.
Wally.
Right. Let's not forget that part. That's the important part. Okay, so that's how you adjust your dashes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the revision block. Okay. Revision block on this is pretty easy. It's under annotation. Go over here to tables. You actually see it right there. Revision block. Click and just check mark. And there's your revision block. You might have to adjust this, it seems to bring it in a little high. Come in here, just grab it, bring it down, let's say, do it in the corner. Okay. Just adjust it a little bit there, like so, okay? Any problems doing the title block? Anybody having issues with the title block? Speak now or forever hold your peace. There you go. Okay, to get into the title block, what you're gonna do is you're gonna right click, and you're gonna find this one here that says edit sheet format, okay? That'll put you into the title block material. Now, when I zoom down, my views are suppressed. They didn't delete, they didn't disappear, they're just suppressed. If I right click and I select edit sheet, see the views will come right back. So if I want to get in here and work with this, I right click, edit sheet format. That puts me into the format. And then what I do is I kind of move my mouse left to right. And when I see that A, you see that A popping up there? As soon as you see that A, double click it real fast. Okay, that's going to open up the text dialog box and you're going to type in El Camino College. Okay, just like that. Okay? You can move this text. If it doesn't center right, you can actually move this a little bit to the left or right, up and down. We got some snaps on. I'm going to start showing you how to turn those snaps off, because those snaps are a pain in the neck when you're working on drawing. Okay? So that's how you control that. Okay? Don't worry about the assignment number. The minute you put that view in the drawing, the assignment number comes up automatically. Don't type this number. That's actually related to the model, and you want it to come up automatically. If it doesn't come up automatically, something isn't right. And if you don't have this happening to you, chances are when you close the drawing, open it back up, you may see your views disappear. You'll have a drawing sitting there with nothing on it. So save your model correctly, bring it in. As soon as you bring it in, it puts the ID number there. You don't have to type it, right? Okay, for your name right here, just move your mouse back and forth. You see the little A. Double click it, and then type your name. Okay. You don't need to put my name in here. You can be putting your name in here. I was trying to change all of these, and I put a little note here that says your name, your name. And I actually had somebody in there type in your name. So you actually want to put your name. Okay?
That was an amazing day.
I'm not going to tell you who that was.
Actually, write down.
So when you see your name in there, that means you type
Your name.
your name.
The actual name?
Sorry for your name.
Yeah, now what you want to type is D, like my name is, D Valadares. You just put your first initial, period, last name. And if you're royalty, and you can have about 6 last names, pick one. Okay. So pick your most common first name and pick your most common last name, and use the initial for your first name and then your last name. Okay. Don't try to cram 6 names in there. Not gonna work. You can actually scale it down like that. So just double click, okay? And then just type your name.
What's my name?
Your name.
Gang name?
Huh?
Gang name.
Yeah, there you go. Gang name, yeah. So type your name in there, okay? You understand how to do that? All right, and then for the date, same thing. See if you move your mouse back and forth. See how it highlights that little A? So double click it. You put today's date if you're doing it today. So you're just gonna put 9/13/18. That's all you need. You don't need to put 09. It's just limited space. That'll do it. Okay. So put your mouse right here. Double click. And type 9/13/18. Okay. Any problems with this area here? All right. So far so good. All right. Let's talk about this little area right here. Right. If you double click it real fast with the left mouse button, okay, it'll highlight. You place your mouse right here in front. See how I click it right here in front? Surface finish. Come over here to the left. Here's your surface symbols right there. Click on the surface symbol. I think I'm just using a default. This is not the way you're actually going to do it at work. They're going to assign values to all this stuff here. So what did I put in? 60, I think it was. I can't even see that.
I thought it's 125.
125?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the way these numbers work. If I put a 2, a 1, 2, it goes 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, the numbers keep doubling. The lower the value, the smoother the surface. So if I put a 1 or a 2 in there, it would be a highly polished steel. You can actually use it as a mirror. Okay, that's not very common to use because it's very expensive to do. Okay, so if you see a number in there like 1, 2, or 4, that's a very polished symbol. If somebody puts something like 240 or 80, think of it as sandpaper. You know, when you buy sandpaper, you ever go and buy rough sandpaper, it's 240. That's about the roughness you're putting in there. So you're telling somebody, make that surface of the part so rough that if I run my hand over it, I'll sandpaper in my hand. Okay? If you get up around 1 or 2,000, you're basically saying beat it with a ball peen hammer. Because you're going to have a really rough surface. You know? So the higher the number, you would think it'd be reversed, but the higher the number, the rougher it is. The lower the number, the smoother it is. Okay? So that's what this finish means. So you would actually put that check mark on a part. Somebody would look at that and say, oh, this surface has to be finished to this value. And they actually have gauges where they can actually compare. They do comparison gauges to actually compare that smoothness. So that's what that finish symbol is. So in here, you said I put 120?
125.
125?
Yeah.
I think it should be 124. I think I messed up on that. So it should be 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. That should actually be 128. The value's actually, I was probably asleep when I did that. Okay. Now, you're going to come over here where it says tolerance. Just put your mouse right there in front. Oh, I'm sorry, I got to accept this first. Okay. Put your mouse right here in front. And you can see these little symbols. There's an anchor. Just next to it, there's GD&T symbols right there. They say add symbols, but these are GD&T symbols. If you click in there, you actually find the plus or minus. Plus or minus, then you put 0.005. Okay? This is just for classroom work. What you don't want to do is show up at work and start putting this information in there and saying, hey, I took a class at Old Community College and the guy said this is the way you do it. It depends on where you work and depends on the requirements of the part. Okay? So this is just showing you how you would put the tolerance in there. I'm not telling you this is the way the whole world runs. Okay, so plus or minus, linear, 0.005. And for the angularity, you just come in here, and you're going to say plus or minus, and you're going to type 1, and then you're going to add a degree to it. So you're going to say basically plus or minus 1 degree, see? So those are called tolerances. What that means is that if you have a drawing, and you look on the drawing, you notice that none of the values have a plus or minus on the value. That means that you default to this title block, and your tolerances are derived from this block. So if you build a part, and you have a part, and it has two digits, 2 decimal places, or 2 values, or just 1 value, these tolerances in here would apply to the value of the drawing. Okay? So this is just generic. Now this is going to overflow a little bit. Double click it. Okay. Here's your text dialog box right here. Sometimes this thing likes to appear somewhere like that. I like to take it and I like to move it down and keep it down here close so I can see it. I highlight that 6 and I just type 5. And you'll see that it shrinks the text. Okay. If you want, you can type 5.5 to try to space it. And that's how you control that. All right? Any questions on anything in here? Any questions at all?
No.
You okay? All right? Okay. All right. Once you get this completely filled in, right click, edit the sheet. This is going to push you back into the drawing. You can see your title block will be populated and your drawing comes back. All right. Now, bill of materials. If for some reason or other you forgot to add the material to the bill of material to the model, don't worry about it. You can just bring in the bill of materials. You'll see a blank space. You go back to the model. You add the material, save it, and you'll see it will populate the part list if you forgot. So you can either bring the part list in first, then go back and do the material, or do the material first and bring the part list in. It works either way. So under table, I'm going to go to build materials. The directions over here say select any view. Doesn't matter what view you pick, just pick a view. Okay? And then check mark it. And then there's your build materials. Okay? You can see, remember when I put cast alloy steel over my part level? It showed up right there. Okay? You don't want to be typing it here. You want this to link back to the model. For some reason or other, if you decide to change the material in the model, drawing, you're gonna have parts being built the wrong way. So you always want to link back to the model. Okay? Now, what you want to do is take this word description and have it go to the bottom. Because when you build a bill of materials, you want to build it so that you're adding from the top. You're always adding from the top to the top. You don't want to put it here and then have to come in here and move this up all the time. Keep moving it up as you're adding material. So you want to invert this, right? This gets to be a little tricky because when I first did this, I used to come in here and double click this real fast. And there's actually a little icon that shows up over here to the right, which is the inverter, and I could never find that thing. And every once in a while when I was half asleep and lazy, I would click it one time, and all of a sudden there it is. And it took me like the whole semester to realize, oh gee, you click this one time, and this option shows up. If you sit here double clicking it, it'll never show up. See, it doesn't show up. So what you do is you just put your mouse here, click one time with the left mouse button, click, and there's your inverter right there. So when I go here and I click this table header on top, I click it. Table header now is at the bottom. Okay. You can also add columns in here. Okay. So if I was to get in here, right click, see I can add columns, insert columns, shrink columns, I can do it all in here. Okay. Just take it once you get it all filled in, go down and done. Just like that. Don't worry about this guy being perfect. If you can stretch this out at the beginning and get it to hit the corner, that's great. Right now, it's not going to do it because snaps are on, and it's trying to snap to a grid. I'm going to show you how to turn those snaps off. That's why it's, I think this one goes to the right. Yeah, it goes to the right. And then, look at that. So this is kind of a weird title block to work with. Okay? It's just like that. Okay? So we know how to do the title block. I'm sorry, the title block. This is called the title block. And the parts. What part are you having a problem with, Stephen?
You can.
In here? Okay, I'm gonna see my mouse on the screen. Right click on the screen. Can you see that one there that says edit sheet format? Click on that. And that will get you into the title block. Is it all blue? Can you look at it? Okay, when it's all blue, just take your mouse and see how I move my mouse back and forth. You see the A? You see a little A? When you see that A pop up, double click it. And then just retype the title right there. It's kind of hard to see. You just have to kind of move your mouse back and forth. Can you see that little A following my cursor? So as soon as you see that A, just double click with the left mouse button. And then you type your text. That goes for every square. If I'm in here to see what's his signature or anything, if I just move my mouse left and right. Sometimes these things are hard to grab. Oh, that's signature. I have to be over here. Okay. Get the A, double click it, and type my name. Again, D.B.A.L.L.A.D.A.R.E.S. Type your name. Not my name, but your name. Okay? Okay. I'm kind of a wise guy. That's why my tip jar is never full. Okay, so we understand how to do that, okay? All right, then to get out of it, you would just click, right click, edit sheet. That takes you up, puts you back into your drawing. So think of it as two separate worlds that you have to go in and out of all the time. Okay, and then to add the balloon call out, again, is under annotation. And you can see right here, it says balloon. And we're going to be using this guy here later. It's called auto balloons, where you have 10 parts that actually goes around, balloons that do it automatically. But this one here is balloon. Come over here and touch the part, and move out, and click, right click. Right click is the check mark. So when you put a balloon on there, you right click it, now it's accepted. So go to balloon, right there, select it, come over, click, right click, and that accepts it. If You guys wanna try that? Is there anything in here you'd like me to talk about? Yes?
How do you put,
The material? Okay, so you're gonna go back to your model. This is my model here, okay? And I'm going to come up here, this is my browser, I'm gonna come to the top. Can you see that yellow icon all the way to the left that I'm picking? It says Feature Manager Design Tree. Click on that, and make sure you're in that tree, all right? You're gonna see your model ID right here. Right click, material. See the word material? Edit material. Okay, see how it opens up the dialog box? Then scroll in here and look for the material, okay? Now, this is only step one. When you find the material here, you're gonna click apply and close. Okay? Then you come up here to the third icon to the right. This is called Configuration Manager. You click on that one. Notice how the browser changes? Put your mouse right here and see your ID number right there. Okay, there's two rows. It's the second one. You right click, Properties, and then this is where you have to check the box that says Used in Bill of Materials, and then you come in here, it'll say default, you highlight that and type the name of the material there. Okay, try and see if it works, so it doesn't, let me know. Okay, you got another question? Yeah.
Could you do the linear pattern, the circle?
Oh, the circle, for
Yeah.
that one assignment, the circular one?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what was the other question coming up there? Was that related to the 2D drawing?
Yeah, it's, how can you make the numbers bigger on the,
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, and then I'll do that circular path for you. Okay, if you're having an issue with the text being too small. Ouch. Oh, I think I'm in the middle of something here, that's why. When you get in the middle of something, it'll wash out from everything. There you go. Okay, if you find that your text is too small, or your arrowheads are too small, or you don't have a sufficient gap here, you should see roughly.
We're sponsored today by Squad QL. It's an
Oh, that sounds like me. Is that me?
no.
That sounds just like me. You know, if you guys want to record this stuff, feel free to record it. Okay. Like I tell everybody, you'll absolutely free to record it. Get an Academy Award, you get the statue, I get the money. Okay. Don't get too many laughs on that, huh? Okay, so let's make the text bigger. Come down here to Edit Documents. Okay, see the word dimension right there? Click on that. See the word font? Click on font, and you're gonna get this little dialog box. If you switch it to points from units, so go to points, and then you come in here and basically pick the value. So right now it says it's 13. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna exaggerate this thing. I'm gonna say 28. And I'm gonna say okay. And then close this guy, say okay. And see, I got some really big values there, don't I? Okay. So it's done under the documents down here. So under the, down here at Edit Documents, click on that. Find the word dimension. Go to the font. And switch it to points, and then pick a number in here. So I think 14 looks pretty good. 13, 14 looks pretty good. You can even type a number. You don't have to accept 12 or 14. Actually, you can highlight and type 13 and get it to come up 13. Okay. Control the size of that. So those are kind of small. And the rule of thumb is you dimension it, you print it, you look at it. If you can read it clearly, leave it alone. If you can't read the numbers, it's too small, they make them bigger. But if you can read it clearly, don't mess with it. Just leave it alone. So font, I think I'm gonna increase the size on mine. I'm gonna try about 18, see what that looks like. Okay, okay. Yeah, see, that's pretty clear. All right, now, you may get the numbers a little bigger, then you're gonna find that, oh man, my arrowheads are too tiny. So again, you go back into the documents. And under dimension, it covers everything in general. So go to dimensions. Here's my arrowheads right here. Okay. Left to right. Left to right is this value, which one is it? This one right here, there's two values, this is the overall, but this is the one right here, this little top one right, there's one here in the middle, that controls the actual length of the arrowhead. So this one says 3.3, I'm gonna go in here and double it to 6.6, I'm gonna double that, okay? This value up here is the width or the height of the arrow, okay? So whatever this value is, I'm gonna make this 1/3 of that value. So this is gonna be 3.3, but that's half, actually, what do I want? About 2.2 would be about 1/3 of that, okay? And then I'm gonna say okay, and you can see my arrowhead gets bigger. So you want it kind of look like streamlined. What you don't want to do is you don't want to do something like this. Oh heck, let me just show you the board at the same time. Yeah, your arrowheads should look nice and streamlined, kind of like this. Okay, they should be filled in. You don't want to see something that looks like this. Okay, you don't want to see that. It's all filled in. So that's an arrowhead. They refer to that as a spear. When you do something like that, you put that on a drawing, the check will put a note on there that says, hey, no spears. Okay. And then sometimes people will work on a drafting board and they do something like this. They don't fill it in, they do that. Then the checker puts a big note in there, it says no chicken tracks. So that's an arrowhead, that's a spear, that's a chicken track. Okay. So you actually see checkers will actually write that if you happen to do something by hand. They actually write those notes on the drawing. Telling you, don't do that. Okay. So that's how you control that. Okay. Now there's something else in here. Let me find something. I'm going to put a hole in this thing just to show you something here. Okay. There's no hole in here, but I'm just going to draw a hole in here. So I'm going to show you something real quick. Sketch. Put a circle here. Let's put it here. I'm just going to exit and extrude. And there we go. I'm going to extrude cut. Okay, just tell it here, go through all. Oh, I said revolve. Extrude cut. I'm going to tell it to go through wall. So I'm just going to throw an arbitrary hole here. Okay, I didn't constrain it, didn't dimension it, anything, just to save time. Then I'm going to go back to my drawing. Now, if I click save, this will actually update the drawing for me. Okay, hopefully it should show up on the drawing without saving. I hope. Nope. I'm going to have to go back and click save. So save file, save, okay, save. Let's see if it updated my drawing. Hopefully it does. Yeah, see the hole right there? Okay, I'm going to put a dimension here. Annotations, sorry, sketch, smart dimension, that's this guy here. Yeah. Okay. When you put this dimension in here, can you see that arrow? See how it's adding that extra line in there? Right there. If you want to get rid of that, what you do is you come over here where it says leader. And I'm going to be honest with you, for me, I get in there and I start clicking things. This is where I have a case of happy fingers trying to get something to work. Because it just doesn't make sense sometimes. But I usually come down here to the right-hand corner where it says one arrow open leader. So I click that, and you can see that it removed that line. Okay? And if I click one of these two up here in the upper left, it will actually take the arrow and put it inside. So I can actually get the arrow to go inside like that. See? I want to put a double arrow right there. So I can actually change that. I just change it to a radius. So you can see that if you start clicking away over here, you get different things that happen. Right there, see? I'll click this one. See? So sometimes it's a combination of picking two of them. And then sometimes you're going to find that you picked a couple of them and nothing's happening out here. You're over here picking things and absolutely nothing's happening. What you do is close the box. And when you close the box, you'll actually see it actually triggers it. Okay? So if you're clicking away, nothing happens. Close the box, you'll see it. It'll probably update. If it doesn't, you just double click the value and go back in and start fooling around with these icons again. That controls this arrow right here and the line in here, okay? Now, this is a dimension, for diameter. If you're doing diameters, actually that default radius, if you're doing diameters, you're gonna find that if you go here to annotation, you're gonna see a note right here that says hole call out. That's kind of the best one to use because we got an assignment coming up where we're gonna be using something called a hold wizard, which is really cumbersome to use. But if you use this one here, hold call out, it actually takes all the information that's required for that hole and puts it right on the drawing. Diameter, 14.17 true. If I just use a regular dimension, you'll see the difference. One dimension, I'll touch this guy here. Can you see the difference? It just says diameter 14.17. It doesn't say true. So I would have to go in here, and I'm going to check mark this. I'm going to have to go in here now, click on this, get the little box, and then I'm going to have to come in here and say, hey, true. I have to add the word true. But if I use this guy here, annotation, and I use this guy here called hole call out, it puts all the information in there for me. And when we're doing the hole wizard, which is going to be the next assignment, and you'll have a handout for that. This is the hole wizard right here. If you get a chance, start reading up on this. This thing is really busy. Where's the hole wizard go? Where's the hole wizard? Hole wizard, right there in front of you. Okay, this is hole wizard. Give you an idea how this works. Some of you go running ahead. Click on hole wizard. Real pain in the neck to use. Okay. Here's all my different options right here. So let's say I want to put a counterboard hole in there. I click the counterboard. Okay. And I actually have a handout for the next assignment that walks you through this. I have to go in here and say, am I working in ANSI or inches? So I go to ISO. And sometimes you're actually going to have to pick ISO ANSI to make this thing work. So I'm going to say ISO. Okay. Then you come down here and it says, well, what size screw you're using? Okay, I'm going to use M5. Okay. Then I go in here and it says show custom sizing. Okay. Custom sizing basically says, okay, what size is the counterboard going to be? I'm going to say, well, it's going to be 5.5. For the hole going through, the counterboard diameter is going to be 12.3. And let's see, that should be the depth right there. Then you think you're all done, but you're halfway there. You have to come in here, pick the surface. Okay, I'm sorry. You have to go position, pick the surface, and you can see the hole is floating, so you have to click the surface. Then you have to go in here and constrain it. SolidWorks really makes you work for this. You have to go in here and you have to position that because you're trying to get that completely defined there, fully defined. So you have to define this. Okay. So see, it says fully defined. Check mark it. Check mark to say I'm done dimensioning. Come back to type. Check mark to say I've satisfied everything. And then you get a counterboard hole. Okay? So here's a nice counterboard hole in there. All right? So you just used the hole wizard. So now I'm going to click save. Boy, this is going to mess up my model. Save. Now I go back to the drawing. And when you look at the drawing, see, there's the counterboard hole. See right there? Okay? Now, because you use the hole wizard, when you go to dimension this, you go here to annotate, you come over here, you use hole call out, you just touch this, and it puts all the information in there for you. You don't have to type that stuff in. That's called hole wizard. For those of you who ever took Adventure, remember the hole command in Adventure?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. Just 10 times more cumbersome on that. So you get an assignment coming up that requires us to use the hole wizard. And I'm going to have a handout, 2 handouts that actually walks you through this step by step by step. But go into your book and try to read up on this beforehand, before I give you that handout, because you can see it's pretty busy. And you can do tapped holes in here. So if I go here to hole wizard, I can actually go in here and say, hey, I would like a tapped hole. So this is counterboard, this is countersunk, this is a dowel hole. This one here is a straight tap. Okay, so I can pick this one here. And I can put all the information in here for a tapped hole, position it, save it, go to the drawing, click on it, all the information shows up. It'll say, hey, this is a 1/4-20 hole by 1/2 inch deep. You know, let's see, what's a 1/4-20? USNC, 1/4-20, class 2. puts everything in there. So start thinking about this. Questions? So what was the other question?
Oh, the circular.
Yeah, geez, I got sidetracked there, didn't I?
When you have the dimensions, when you have them vertical, and then horizontal, and you
Yeah.
still horizontal, how do you change it?
Yeah,
Like
if-
the ISO?
Yeah, if they're coming in horizontal and you're doing a metric drawing, just go here. I'm not gonna forget you this time, just go here, and you'll see under dimensions, right there's dimensions. I'm sorry, this is where you have to kind of, single it out. See where it says linear dimension?
Mhm.
Well, linear dimension, can you see right here where it says ISO? That makes it vertical.
Yeah.
If you switch it to ANSI, that's gonna put it horizontal, okay? So if you're doing metric, you want that to say ISO. And that's true for any other dimensions in here if they're not coming out correctly. Okay, let me get to that one there. Do you just need to know how to pattern, or you need to know the whole thing?
No, I just need the pattern.
Pattern, okay.
Yeah.
Just do a clean, file new, part. Okay, make sure you're working in metric. I'm just gonna set something up here real quick, okay? Oh, incidentally, here's your planes right here when you're running your mouse up and down. This new release, usually you click this little arrow right here, and your planes will display over here, but this new release, you actually have to expand this a little bit to get those arrows to show up here. Where is it? Get those arrows to show. And then you click here. Release a little touch. There you go, see? And here's your planes right here, so here you can turn them on and off right there. Okay, let me just set something up real quick. Here, sketch. I'm just gonna draw 2 circles here real quick. So 1. I'm not gonna constrain this just to save time. Okay, there's your donut, okay? Exit the sketch, Control 8, that's Control 7. Extrude this real quick. Okay, that looks good enough. Come back and pick the surface for the plane, pick the surface. Sketch, Control 8. Put a finger there. This is the only thing I don't like about this SolidWorks. The way this thing flips around. Okay, so there's the finger, okay? I'll go ahead and put a little filler here real quick. Oops. Let's go through this. Let's see, perimeter circle, touch this, touch that. And then trim this. So this will be the little finger here. Okay, and then go ahead and put another circle in there, and that will represent the hole in the center. Okay, all right, exit the sketch. Control 8, let's do it. Control 7, let's do a quick extrude. Flip it. And then you can also put a fillet there. That way you can pattern the fillet also. See what side you got. Oh, this thing's pretty big. Ooh, that's pretty big. Edit feature. Try 10. Yeah, that's pretty good, okay? And then I'm also gonna put the fillet on the other side, okay? So that's your setup, right? Okay, so let's say that's your setup that you did, all right? Here's your donut, here's the finger, here's the fillets on both sides, here's the finger with the radius in the hole. Okay, so I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna highlight the fillet that I just did, I'm gonna hold down the control key, pick that fillet. I'm gonna take that extrusion right there, which is just this finger. This one here is the entire body, I don't wanna pick that. I'm gonna come in here to linear pattern, I'm gonna go to circular pattern, and I'm gonna satisfy the questions he's asking me here. Direction, what direction do I wanna go? Well, I wanna go circular. So what I do is I just put my mouse right here, see, it's traveling in a circular direction, or out here, or I can touch the edge of the circle, or I can touch the edge of the circle, and it's telling, hey, I wanna go here and I wanna click equal spacing, and when you do equal spacing, it'll default to 360. Put your number right here, how many do you want? Just click OK. And you should get it like that.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Yeah. Never mind the applause, man. Tip jars up here. Okay. Any other questions on anything? And if I go through this stuff too fast, just stop me and have me back up, and I'll go through it again. All right? I don't want to leave anybody behind. Yes.
For drawing this one, it's showing a circle that goes to basically to each circle. How do I put that circle in there?
Okay. Let me just open that one up. Okay, that one is assignment 3, exercise 4. Make sure you're saving these things right. My date time's about, I'm gonna say about 30–40%.
Wow.
Boy, they had some problems saving. So you want to make sure you use the number on the drawing. So this one is assignment 3 exercise 4. Okay, so I'm gonna open up that drawing. Set the drawing at the bottom. Oops, I did it. Can't believe how slow these things are. Trying to get to the drawing. I get a funny feeling this thing's gonna crash on me. Okay. Let me see if I can get to that drawing. When you get this message, this is basically saying, hey, you did this in 14, if you open it and save it, you're not gonna be able to open it in 14 anymore. Hopefully this works. Oh, hey, here's what I've been looking for. I'm gonna have to do this again to show you. Remember what I was saying about if you ID your model incorrectly, and then you take it and you put it on the drawing, and then you go back and change that ID, this is what you get when you open it up. And every semester I have either one midterm or one final where I get a drawing like this where somebody's done that. That's exactly what happens to you. So if you don't ID it properly, and you put it on the drawing, and then you save that drawing, and then you look down there and say, oh, that's the wrong number, and you go back to the file, and you change the model ID, when you come back to the drawing, that's exactly what you're gonna get, right there. Just wipes out the view, and you can imagine this happening to your big assembly drawing. I've seen the whole assembly drawing just wipe out, because they didn't ID it properly. Okay, I'm gonna have to see if I can get something up here. Just put it on a drawing to show you. So eventually we'll get there. That was good that happened, you can actually see that. Just let me paste this one onto the drawing, and I'll show you how that works. Edit. And this is what I mean about just having the model open, say it just brings that model in. Okay, let's delete this. Delete that. Okay, so you bring the model in, and you want to see that circle, which is going to be a center line. What you do is you just go here to sketch, and you go here to this one here that's a 2-point circle. You touch the center here, you drag out and you touch the outer circle there. Before you close this dialog box, you come over here and you see where it says construction. Click on construction next right to your center line. Is that the one you were after?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Took me a while, but I got there. So remember that a construction line in SolidWorks it's the same as a center line, but SolidWorks center lines are considered construction lines. And if you don't change that, while that dialog box is open, sometimes it won't change. So you come in here, you put that circle in there like this, and then you check mark that box up there, and then you try to go back into it, you're gonna find sometimes it won't change it. It just doesn't change it. So you gotta do it when that box is open. If you don't do it when the box is open, it won't change it. Yes? This one here? Okay. So you go to sketch, and you see the circle right there? The 2-point circle. Hit the center. Come on here. Touch the center of that hole. Before you close this box, before you check mark it, can you see over here where it says construction? Check that construction, and then okay. And that should convert that line to a center line. And then one more time, if you do this, like so, and then you check mark it, and then you decide, oh, I need to change that, you try to go back in here, and you say, hey, make that construction, you'll find that it may not take, it doesn't change it. So you're gonna do it immediately when that box is open. And center marks, remember I was talking about this earlier, here's your center mark right here. If you put a center mark in here, and you get something that's humongous, come right over here. You see the check marks where my mouse is? Uncheck, uncheck, uncheck. So every time you see a check line, just uncheck it, see? And then you'll see the dimension, and all you have to do is change the dimension. You can increase that mark. If you want to see the big center marks, just go back and start checking all the boxes. Okay? And the big center mark will come back.
I have a question for the construction line for the circle. When I try to find measurement and I call that.
Yeah, it's not a whole, so you just use regular dimension there. Yeah, if you're gonna try to use the whole call out. So this here, it doesn't see it as a whole. Doesn't see this here? That's a whole. See, so it sees the information. So this would be a regular dimension there. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna roll tonight. Who's got another question? Yes?
What about the decimal places?
Oh, decimal places. Okay, decimal places again are, let's see, we put a dimension in this so you can see. Sketch. I'm just gonna get hit and put a linear dimension. Okay, so you get in two places, let's say you don't want that. You can do this one or two ways. Before you check mark this, can you see right here where my mouse is? See, if I say none, there's no places out. You can do that for every dimension you put in to control the amount of decimal points. If you want to do that in general, just go here. Here, documents. This is kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can have it show up here. You definitely don't want to see zeros. It's in here. Oh, here it is right here. See right here? None. Kind of hard to see. And that'll also take care of it. Okay? How you doing? You all right, Stephen? What do you think?
I got one of them done.
Good?
I got one of them done.
Any problems,
Oh,
any
yeah.
questions, or anything?
That's good. But you know how you get the top part? This part.
Plus and minus in the title one? Sure.
Which one?
I'm gonna right click,
Revision table?
edit sheet format, and double click this here real quick. Put your mouse right here in front, see right there, it says tolerance. Move over here to the left, see that CL right here, add symbols. You'll find the
thank
plus
you.
and minus in there. You see it okay? Okay, and then you just type 0.005.
Something.
Okay? All right, who else? Anybody else? 1, 2, okay, what do you got?
No, just a question.
Question on yours? Okay, what you have over here? You okay, you don't have a question?
This one.
You have a question there? Okay. Give me a second. He's gonna make me walk all the way over here.
So, is he done with the lecture? If so, I can stop recording.
Sorry?
Is he done with the lecture so I can stop recording?
Yeah, I think.